Well, if you're looking at all this snow and you think this is last week's video, you would be incorrect. Yes, this is the third snow that we have had this fall because winter is still a week and a half away. So I'm inside the Homestead Hideaway Hangout and got my little decorations up. This looks a lot better in the dark, but got a little snow on the top and lights going on the inside. I am the Frugal Gardener. I garden in the hills of West Virginia. That's in zone 7A. And I garden usually on 1/4 of an acre of land. But now, because it's cold, well, it's cold outside, I'm gardening inside. I have some things I'm going to go over with you guys. I said we were going to do a review this video, but I have something important to talk to you guys about. So I'm going to do it in the next video. It is in the mid-30s outside. It was 60 in here before I opened the door and started moving in and out. So what I'm going to do first is I want to just update you guys on a few things. But today's video is about the 4 words that not just our government, but most governments will never say, will never tell you. They're very important, and I'll explain the whole thing to you shortly. But let's do these updates first. This is not mistletoe. This is actually mint that's drying out from my garden from over the summer. You might remember I grew it in a tote or tub, and it's still, this has been drying for a couple of days, but I still have some out there that I can harvest that I will be growing. So before I go any further, I have a question. I want you guys to comment below on this. What percentage of American families do you think grow a vegetable garden? Not individuals, families. 28% of families, 41%, 57%, or 80%. Put your comments below, put your guesses below. This is just for fun. And we're going to see how close you guys get, because this is going to tie in to the 4 words in the title of this video. So take a second, put your guesses down below, or you can put another number in. But this is pretty much the 4 answers that I'm looking for somewhere in between. And we'll get that answer out in the next video. So let me finish doing a review of a couple of things that I started in the last video. Well, the original plan was to have this completed by now. This meaning my compost bin, my do-it-yourself compost bin. I said I was going to do 2 of these. I am, but when I went to dump the ice out of the blue one that I showed you in the other video, it broke apart because it was fragile and old. So I have a couple of these laying around, and I'll just bring another one over here to refresh you guys' memories. I have been reluctant to compost it. I've been composting for years, but I've been reluctant because of the critters that are up here. So my chickens are way over there. So I'm hoping that this being here and this being cold, that I won't have that problem. So what you see here, this is a drill bit, this red thing here, and this is a net pot. This is what I'm going to use. Look at this as if you would a drain. So this is upside down for a reason, because I have to put the hole in here. Think of it like a bathtub. Basically, that hole is going to go in the center there, right on the edge center. And then when I flip this over, I'm going to put this on a stand, like maybe a couple of cinder blocks, but I may just use wood, the rounds that we cut for the trees, because those are free. And that way I don't have to spend any money. I'm using what I have on the property. The reason why you see these bungee cords here is because I'm going to put this top on after I clean the top off and wrap the bungees, connect them and wrap it around. All this would have been done if we didn't get all this snow the other day. So rather than to just blow it off and not talk about it at all, I'm giving you guys a preview of what you're going to see probably in the next video. So this is going to be raised up. The reason for the hole is because I'm going to water this. It's supposed to stay moist but not soaked. And then you get what's called a compost tea. There are a lot of you guys out here who have already done this, but for those of you who are considering doing this for the first time, this container here is going to go under this hole here. And again, think of it as letting the water out of the bathtub. Instead of getting water out of the bathtub, we're going to get compost tea. The great thing about this is you don't have to wait until the compost is ready before you can use the compost tea. This will start coming out probably in a month or so. And once the compost tea comes out, you can use it right away. But I'm also, in addition to using these bungee cords, I'm going to put a brick or a log or something on top, and hopefully the critters won't bother it. So I'm going to add a second bin, but right now, since I'm just starting, I'm just going to do the one, and as it starts to fill up, then I'll do the second one. If I do this right, then it's not supposed to smell. As a matter of fact, I've done these, and in the wintertime, when you go to stir it, I've actually gotten steam from out of mine. My buddy Keisha H, she also composts, and she said that hers smells good, which is a good sign. I'm hoping for the same kind of compost that she has. And by starting this now, I should be able to use this by the spring or late spring. And this is another reason why I want to have two. And basically, you want greens and browns. I posted a link to one of the videos I did before. I'm probably going to post it again or post another one. I've done several of these videos, but like I said before, I haven't done this in about 4 or 5 years. So this is the preview of that, and moving on to the last preview. Well, not preview, I should say. It's not a preview. It's an update on where I am with this project. I mentioned to you guys about water conservation, about water catchment systems, and what I am doing now. And like I said, this is an update. I brought this can over to give you an example of what I was saying before. Now, this is smaller than these containers here, but if you have one of these laying around, or if you are so inclined to go to one of the stores and buy yourself one, this is an inexpensive way to capture some extra water. Do not attempt to use this in the winter, because this is, this may be 30 gallons, I'm not sure. But if you were to get, say, a 40 or 50 gallon trash can and fill it in the winter, you might be in for a rude awakening, because 50 gallons, a gallon of water is roughly 8 pounds. So if you do the math, you're talking several hundred pounds of water. And you see what happens in the wintertime. This is starting to thaw out now, but this can actually turn into solid ice. And if you have 300 or 400 pounds of solid ice, ice expands. So you're more than likely going to end up cracking your can, and the whole thing is going to be for nothing. So spring, summer, fall, this is great. You take this, you get your original water catchment, you transfer the water over to here. Now you have, I don't want to say double because it depends. If I was to use this blue one and this blue one because they're the same size, then I would double the amount of water that I'm able to save. Let's say hypothetically, if I was able to save 100 gallons and I used 25 gallons a week, depending upon how big your garden is, then that's a month worth of water that I don't have to pay for. So those are the updates. So let's move on to the point of why I'm making this video. So most of you guys who are here probably already have some sort of garden, but the reality is, for most of us, this is something that we enjoy doing. It is, for some people, a hobby. For others, it's just something to save a couple dollars or get fresh tomatoes in the summer. But things have changed. Things are still changing, and not in a good way. So what's happening is the prices are just going up and up and up, and your skills as a gardener are really becoming more and more valuable. I am going to start by saying I don't know what the future brings. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think back, I had a conversation recently with somebody about the depression, and nobody saw that coming. There's a lot of information that we are not getting in terms of unemployment numbers, the cost of living. Everybody knows the prices are going up. And if by some chance things were to go south really fast, then there's a lot of people out there that would not have any way of growing food because they don't know how. A long time ago, there was a guy named Willie Sutton. He was a bank robber, and they used to call him Slick Willie Sutton, and they finally caught up with him, and they asked him, they said, well, why do you rob banks? And he said, because that's where the money is. So everybody got a chuckle out of that. And now the reality is, why do people go to the supermarket? Well, because that's where the food is. But if for some reason, if the food became too expensive, or if we couldn't, or if there was not enough food, then what would we do? I already know you guys are going to say, grow your own. During the Depression, a lot of people down south, the deep south, they had backyards, they had gardens, and they grew their food. They still suffered because they didn't have medical, they didn't have gas, they didn't have, there's a lot of things they did not have. There wasn't Food Lions or Piggly Wigglies or Whole Foods or Kroger's. There wasn't even a Walmart back then. So even if they did have the money, which they didn't because it was shortly after the Civil War, they were not able to get certain things. But if they had a rifle, they could hunt. If they had a fishing rod, they could fish. But the one thing they could do is grow food. So that brings me to the 4 words that I have been teasing you guys about. And basically, it's a phrase, and the phrase goes something like this. Don't spook the herd. Don't spook the herd. That's a real thing. I didn't make it up. I researched it. And this is important because you have a lot of leaders that won't tell you if things are going bad or about to go bad because they don't want to create a panic. I took the time to print this out, and I'm trying to hold this camera steady so that you can read it. The phrase "don't spook the herd" is an idiomatic expression that means one should avoid causing a sudden panic, alarm, or disruption among a group of people, as this can lead to chaos, traditional behavior, and irrational behavior and undesirable outcomes. So That's the reason why, if we do things end up starting to go south, things end up starting to go bad, you're probably not going to be told. You're not going to be told because they don't want you to go into a panic. That makes sense. But the same token, I don't know if I was in that position, if I would subscribe to that philosophy. But FEMA, which is a government organization, and the CDC, they tell you to keep 3 days worth of food. Well, that's kind of a joke to me, because the depression, that lasted over 10 years. We had a serious recession from 2007 to 2009. That lasted 18 months. So what's 3 days worth of food going to do for you? It's not going to take you very far. But again, you're probably saying, well, you know how to garden, you can grow food. Here's where I'm going with this. Do me a favor, do yourself a favor, find one person, a friend, a neighbor, a relative, next year, teach them how to garden. I'm not asking you guys to go out in the dead of winter and start gardening, but take one person under your wing and teach them how to garden. Because I have not really a lot. I have 3,400 subscribers. So imagine if you taught your neighbor, one person, how to garden, and they had 3 or 4 people in their house, and you multiply that times the 3,000 plus people that I have that watch this channel, then you're actually going to be helping over 10,000 people if things do go south. I'm not pushing the panic button. Things may stay fine. But I have a question for you. What does Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Kim Kardashian, Jeff Bezos, and Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq, what do they have in common? The answer, I won't make you wait for it. They all have built luxury bunkers. Now, did they build a bunker because things are going to go to hell in a handbasket? I don't think anybody knows that. They built it because they might. Speculation, protection. This is insurance. And this is the same thing with teaching people how to garden. If there is a problem, people aren't going to be able to just run out and plant something and get food like, Jack and the Beanstalk. It's going to take 3 or 4 months. People who don't garden, I mean, you guys know the difference between root rot, root bound, root ball, and blossom end rot. But a person doesn't garden, probably doesn't. You know that it takes a lot longer to grow eggplant than it takes to grow radish. But again, a person that knows nothing about garden, and they aren't going to be able to just do this in no time. It's going to take them some time to learn this. So yeah, if things do go bad, we are probably not going to know until it's too late, because you don't want to spook the herd. And one last thing I should tell you guys. The White House is upgrading their underground bunker, which is where the East Wing used to be. It's under where the East Wing used to be. And it was upgraded before, a couple of times before, but now it's going through a massive upgrade. So again, this is something that hopefully you guys will think about, and hopefully you will, I'm not asking you to spend all your free time going out finding a bunch of people to teach them how to garden, but I am suggesting that if you just help one person, then that's one less person that's probably going to be knocking on your door asking for help or asking for food if things do go south. So that's it. That's my video for today. I will give you guys the full update on this probably in the next video. So I hope that you will pass this on. Please subscribe, put your comments below, and don't forget, 28, 41, 57, or 80. What percentage of families in the U.S. do you think actually garden? When I say garden, I don't mean full-blown, you have to have everything growing all at once. I'm talking about that grow at least a partial garden, some cucumbers or tomatoes or squash in the summer. So that's it. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day. I'm the Frugal Gardener. Catch you guys on the flip side. And remember, when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. I want to see how this bad boy looks when it gets dark outside. Catch you guys on the next video.